What's up, everybody? I'm going to show you guys how I go about preparing for a fight utilizing visualization and the strategy behind it preparing for a fight. So I'll show you guys a couple of different ways on how I go about doing that.
I want you to keep in mind that visualization doesn't only mean during shadow boxing. Yes, that's when it's mainly used because obviously you have no other choice but to visualize. But even when I'm doing pad work, bag work, sparring, I'm constantly thinking about all the things that I need to do in order to get me closer to win this fight. So I'm working on specific things that we prepared for this opponent. This opponent was a Southpaw, and he was a technical fighter. So he mainly had left kicks. So the emphasis was placed on blocking a lot of these left kicks with my right leg, obviously raising up the leg to block. Me striking with direct punches, utilizing teeps to the thigh, teeps to the body. So if you notice here, when I throw that left teep, it's going down low to the bag, so it's simulating me throwing it to the thigh. You don't want to throw it to the body against the southpaw because they'll catch it, throw it to the side, and score a big left kick. The rear teeps are being thrown to the body, and here I'm practicing one of my elbow fakes that I wanted to do, which I was able to pull off, but it wasn't exactly the way I wanted it. It didn't come off of that fake teep the way I was doing it here on the bag. But if you notice, I'm throwing these direct punches, and even though I am moving my body slightly to the side, moving against my opponent's power side, I didn't utilize that too much just because it's in Muay Thai. It's very difficult to do without getting hit by that left kick as well. So you have to be careful with how much you move to your side. It's not like boxing where you can continuously move to your opponent's right side and your left side to get away from that power left punch from your opponent. Practicing some power knees. So some of these things I was able to do in the fight, some of them I wasn't. I just didn't have the opportunity to do so. And if I tried to do it once and it didn't work, then I would just abandon it and didn't want to waste my time. This is another elbow that I wanted to try to use off of that fake teep, but I didn't get a chance to do so. Again, mainly practicing those rear power teeps, and then that fake elbow as well. And then that left hook that you see was meant to be thrown when my opponent steps in with that left kick. And now, before every pad round, we do shadow boxing. So we do either 1 to 2 rounds. And of course here, this is where the most of the visualization takes place because you have no other choice but to just visualize. So again, emphasis is put on inching my way forward, pushing my opponent back because he was a technical fighter. Utilizing the rear, mainly the rear side of my body, so my right side. If I was to throw that lead teep, it's only going to the thigh of my opponent's leg because it's easier to catch if I throw it to his body, and then he can throw it to the side and then score a big point. And plus it doesn't have enough power as well to push him back. So the rear teep is going to be utilized to the body. We wanted to use a lot of direct punches, straight punches, left hook when I get a chance. If you notice also here while I'm shadow boxing, every once in a while I'll throw that left hook, mimicking my opponent stepping in with that left kick to catch him with that knockout punch. Now this is where the pad work starts. The emphasis was kept again on powerful direct punches, powerful right kicks, the teeps, and then lots of defense, blocking my opponent's left kicks. And of course the conditioning aspect. As you can see, I'll be doing my best to move forward as well during these pad work rounds. So I'm slowly inching my way forward, trying to put the pressure on my opponent. That was the game plan, because we knew that he was going to be a very technical fighter, and he's going to be stepping back a lot and scoring a lot with his left kick. Now here I'm using both knees, but against the Southpaw fighter you have to be careful with how much you use your left knee because of their right hand. Because it's in the lead, they're able to kind of maneuver that left kick, left knee, so they can actually parry your left knee. If you notice also, before I throw my right kicks, I'm throwing that jab, whether I hit the pad or not. I was doing my best to just feint that jab, just like I just did here, just to get something in front of my opponent's eyes, and then land that powerful kick. Although I didn't get much of a chance to do that during the fight. If you notice, when I'm throwing my lead teeps, they're all thrown to the thigh. Just because, like I was saying before, if your opponent is a southpaw and he catches your lead leg, it doesn't have, number one, it doesn't have enough power for him to get pushed back, and number two, he can easily throw it to the side and then score a big point with his left kick, whereas if you throw that rear teep, it's much easier to push your opponent backwards. Changing levels on the knee and the elbows, and then also changing the sides as well, so left to right.
A big thing that I also do through visualization is even when I go to bed, so before I go to sleep, thinking about and visualizing in my mind how I'm going to be fighting my opponent, him being in front of me, utilizing all these strategies and techniques that we've been working on the bag during shadow boxing, and then pad work, and then of course obviously in sparring as well. And I'm thinking about doing all these constantly while I'm sleeping as well. So I'm taking all the time during my training to help me win this fight.